Record. Cool. We're on. All right. This is our pilot season, our pilot episode, not pilot season, right?
Right.
You guys can take a look at Mr. Padron's background. That was provided to us by Andrew Wesolowski at BSN Sports. Big shout out to that guy. I'm pretty incompetent when it comes to technology. I had a beeper once upon a time, so I couldn't figure out how to get the background. So I've got a power net back here. So pretty much what we're doing is, I guess maybe it was a week into maybe a week, Ernie, that I sent you a text. I think the idea started. I sent a text to Ernie and it said, "Me, you, podcast." And he was like, "What?" And then from there, we just started talking about it. And he came up with the idea and the name pretty quickly. And the premise behind it is just for us to talk a little bit of high school baseball. I mean, we do this all the time, whether we're at the field, whether it's between innings, on the phone, and group chats. This is what we do pretty much. We're pretty much entrenched in it. So figured why not pass some time by doing this and offer a platform that's not print media, but it's something that's a little bit more sign of the times, I guess, with technology. I mean, Walking Dead has Zoom meetings. I mean, I think Zoom has taken over the planet, even though I don't know what their stock is trading at right now. But so for this episode, we've got a couple of guests and a couple that will be coming on later. My co-host that should be with me every week or every other week, depending on how successful we quote unquote are, is a longtime high school baseball head coach. What did you say your first year was?
1990, which means I'm old. Yes. Thank you very much, Rich.
Currently the head coach at Gables is Ernie Padron. He's got the cool background. Also joining us is a longtime member of the baseball community. And what are you in your fourth year, Pete? At Somerset Silver Palms? Fourth year?
Fourth year, yeah.
He's in his fourth year at Somerset, but he's been a part of the community with his travel program, the South Florida Contenders, for quite some time. Next guy we have is a dear friend of mine. We play a lot of fantasy sports together. He actually coached with us at Keysgate for what, a year and a half, something like that? Something like that. Oh, you're muted, Mike. Unmute yourself.
You got to make better choices when you choose your friends, Rich.
Yeah, Mike played. Did you play for Ernie? Didn't you?
One summer.
Played a summer for Ernie, and
probably the most fun summer we had with that group. It was an older group, and they loved to compete. And it was a great time, and we got a lot of guys that were breaking off into college, and it was refreshing to see how much they loved the game, and go out and compete. They didn't like to practice much, but when the first pitch was thrown, they were all in for sure.
All of us were already signed. It was a fun summer. Nobody had anything to worry about. It was a blast.
It was a blast. We had a great time.
Well, Mikey Jimenez is joining us. He played his college baseball at Ave Maria, Marshall. Where else? Jeez, tell us.
St. Thomas, Lawson State. Where didn't I play?
Perfect. Thank you, Mikey. We also have a young man we're going to introduce in a little bit. He's just hanging out. We're going to introduce him. He's probably the most special guest because that's what we're going to be talking about today. In a few minutes, we'll have Billy Comer from Westminster Christian, and we'll have Anthony. Anybody know how to pronounce his last name?
Uttariello. Close enough.
Well, he's doing something big for the seniors, and he's pretty much, I guess his website kind of spearheaded or sparked this idea for myself, is just to give kids an outlet. Because, I mean, I don't know about your guys' kids in your program, but mine are always checking their stats, seeing for articles. They just want to see what's going on. And I thought this would be a cool way for us to talk about them, because we do it anyways, like I said earlier. So I guess we'll just go into today's topic. Today's topic, for me, it was brutal. I tried to think about when I had my heart broken and I couldn't remember her name because I don't think it ever happened with a young lady. So for me, when I heard the news that it was done, I kind of went into a shell. I didn't even reach out to my players for maybe, I would say like a week. I didn't reach out immediately because I didn't know what to say. Honestly, we played our last game against Coral Shores, which was on Friday the 13th, where a lot of schools were already being canceled. And right before first pitch, we got notified that school was going to be closed for those 2 weeks. And so, I got with Tito and Bob and I spoke to them and I said, man, this might be it. We got to get our seniors in the game. So spoke to the guys and gave them that cliche speech that is not really a cliche, not in these times, is that play like it's your last game. And, we asked the seniors to do that and they did. We didn't win the game, but our seniors played their ass off. And, my big guy, last at bat, I think he went, 360 into the win over there at Coral Shores. And it was a fitting way to end. But for me, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to be in a position not to be able to help them, not to be able to. I don't think there's much consolation that I could offer with words that was going to be met with anything other than, all right, coach. So it took me a while to be able to talk to him. And after that, we had a Zoom meeting and all the seniors spoke and they had some heartwarming things to say. And some of the underclassmen spoke. And that night on March the 13th, we had a team meeting. Tears were shed and we were only, a third into the season. So I think it was rough. It was rough for me, but I did my best to try to just make sure those guys enjoyed that game and enjoyed the accomplishments that they had done up to that point in the season. We had a spot starter. I think he threw against you guys, Pete. That was his only start of his entire career, the first game at home. Guy went 5 strong. That's all you can walk away from. He's going off to play college, so at least he's got that silver lining. We had another guy that pretty much quit baseball in 9th grade and came back to it. Guy ended up starting on the mound, a little time at first. So it was a good story. That's what I tried to do as far as find what you were able to accomplish as a senior in your 4 years or 2 years, whatever it was. And that helped me, I guess, start to cope and start to be able to have these conversations and start to plan for the future. But Pete, how about you, man? How did it go with your seniors? How did you break it to them? How did they take it? Are they going off to play? Was that it for them?
Well, we didn't get to the end like you did. Because we were in practice mode. I got a call from my AD to shut down practice that Friday. So I canceled practice that Friday. And we got word that there's no pool. It's canceled, so we were shut down. And my AD couldn't give us any answers when we're going to start. So I didn't even really get to, say anything to the seniors. In fact, we're still in wait mode. I promised the seniors that as soon as they give us an all clear that we're going to do some type of party on our field just for the seniors and their parents, because we got nothing. But I only have 3 seniors. One of them, Pino, has been a starter for me for 4 years. All 4 years I've been here. He started as a freshman, and he's been starting ever since.
Who's that?
No, that's AJ Pino.
Oh, Pino. Cool.
The lefty outfielder. And then I got Rowan, who came from Homestead.
Right.
Great kid, he was stuck in that Homestead program, came out and he was tearing it up for us, and then all of a sudden, he's got Montree talking to him and then he loses the season. So those talks stop, but luckily they pick back up, because a lot of these small schools ain't getting the players that they were hoping to get. So Pino's got a couple of looks, and Rowan just got another phone call from a coach through field level, and coach reached out to me on field level. I forget the name of the school, but yeah, I feel bad for those 2 guys. The other senior I had, big, tall pitcher, I mean, he really didn't get off the block, didn't get off to a good start this year. So he really wasn't a factor. But yeah, I feel bad for those two guys. I mean, and a couple of juniors have stepped up and said, hey, I feel bad for you guys, but at least, we're not like some of these other teams, like Ernie's team, 12 seniors. Wow, I mean, that's 12 seniors, half his team lost half their season. I mean, that's at least I got most of my team coming back. I mean, I can imagine having 12 seniors and that's okay. I mean, I keep all my guys in Zoom meetings. We talk. I keep all those two seniors' grades. Of course, the rest of my players. But it's just tough. I mean, it's a tough way to end the season, especially Rich. You and I in the new district.
Yep.
And between you, me, and Cold Shores, we were having some great battles. It was for the first time going to be an exciting district, and falls to the wayside, man. It's all bad. There's nothing good about it. I feel bad for the kids. When they were talking about those seniors come back, I was excited for them because I knew probably one of them would come back, and then they ditched that. So I don't know. I just feel bad for them across the board. And remember, all these guys going into college ball, who knows what their fate's going to be, because the colleges could be keeping their guys back here.
Correct.
So who knows what their fate is?
Billy Comer. Hold on, Pete. I wanted to see if Billy could piggyback on that, because they got a lot of guys that go off to play college. Bill Comer from Westminster Christian. Thank you for joining us, sir. We were just talking about how our programs felt and we're dealing with the seniors and the loss of their season. I mean, I before you came on, I mentioned I hadn't had my heart broken like this since, I don't know, a family member died, man. To me, it was brutal. And I went into a hole for about a week. Pete, but at least we got to play on Friday the 13th and we got a game in. Pete mentioned that they were practicing and he never even got to really talk to his guys in a formal setting because it was just shut down and they're still in wait mode. And Ernie's got 12 seniors. I know you guys had some guys that were projected to go some places. I mean, could you just share how it was over there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me. Coach Pete, what's up, brother? Coach Ernie, nice to see you guys.
How you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, it was it still feels like a movie, and I'm waiting to wake up from this bad dream or something, because I mean, I'm sure we started off the year rough. Luckily we did get one trip in. We went to South Carolina. We went to one of those perfect game tournaments up there, and so at least we got that one experience with the guys. It would have been really heartbreaking if we didn't get that in with them. But we really weren't playing well, and until that last week, we beat a really good Southwest team, and then Coach Emil gave one of his legendary speeches to the guys. If this is going to be your last game, that Friday night was our last game against Florida Christian. He's like, if this is your last game ever, you seniors, leave it all on the line. I mean, there were some tears even when he was talking to the guys. Super inspiring, and it was the best game we played all year. And Coach Bergman always has his team ready, and it was a great environment. But I mean, it was just finally starting to come together, and my heart goes out to all the seniors, not just our seniors, all the seniors throughout, Miami-Dade and Broward County. It's heartbreaking. There's no manual for this. There's no magic words we can say to our guys to, make them feel better. It's, I don't know. I'm still just kind of, dealing with it, and just heartbroken for the guys. There's, a lot of them are going off to play college ball, but no matter where they go, we've had, kids D1, D2, and they come back no matter where they go, whether, Vanderbilt or University of Miami, University of Florida, they all still say it's nothing like high school ball. We miss high school baseball.
Yeah.
So, it's just tough for those guys.
It's funny you say that. I pretty much brought my work home with me and brought all my weight training stuff here. And once this thing slowed down, I've had 2-3 of our college guys coming in here and work out 5 days a week. We disinfect and they're here because, they still enjoy, like you said, that vibe of high school baseball. And they're here. They just left a few hours ago, and they're here every day, and they're training for college and all that. So,
it looks like you haven't been using the equipment though. I guarantee you that. Well, yeah, no, yeah, the equipment's there. I see it. Yeah, pretty good. Just to chime in, guys. We started the season like we said with 12 seniors, and it was a very, very inexperienced team because I was saying it before we started. We only had one guy that's starting experience and another that started in another position, and you're gonna hear from him later. Manny Jackson and Cotton did a great job. We played 9 games. And we got shifted into a different district, which was brutal. We had Southwest, we had Columbus, we had Coral Park, Miami High, and us. And we were at the bottom of the totem pole in that district just because of our youth. And sure enough, man, we play the preseason game, and first game is we get no hit. We get no hit, and I'm going, what are we going to do? And it was, we were just dominated. And, we pitched to everybody to give them a shot. And then 2 days later, we play Killian. We compete a little bit, but still made a couple bad mistakes, left the ball up high, and they capitalized in that yard, hit the ball over the fence. And it's just, what do we do? We went back, and so many hours that we spent with these kids, we spent 3 hours a day, sometimes 15, 16 hours a week with them, and trying to push and push and push. And then finally, when it starts to click, and they start to listen and start to believe in each other, not us as coaches, in each other. You get that sense, my gosh, we could do some stuff. And then, luckily, as it happened, we played Keysgate, and we kind of manhandled them, so that was kind of good. That kind of got us off the schneid there. But no, it was a good game. It was closer than I would want it to be. And then 2 nights later, we just exploded on a good John Carroll team. So, we won 3 or 4 ball games in a row, and I couldn't believe what we were doing because just the youth, and then Friday the 13th, we also played Southwest, and all the kids knew what was going on, they played disappointed, because the fear of all the things that was happening could happen, and it was like they really didn't give everything that they needed to give that day because they were just disappointed. And we ended up on the short end of the stick, but not because we had lack of effort. Just they were playing flat because of just the feelings, And it's tough when you have an emotional down to conquer that, specifically not knowing what's going to happen. I remained with a lot of faith to thinking, man, this is only going to be 2 weeks. We're going to get back at it, and then 2 weeks led to 4 weeks. 4 weeks led to forever, and here we are. And I know that Anthony is joined us already.
Yes, he did.
And I know that he has a lot of great ideas to be able to salvage, at least an iota of a season of a senior day. So we're gonna let him talk about that. But before that, let's why don't we bring Manny on and let Manny share his thoughts on what happened. So, Manny, you there?
Let me unmute him.
Okay, unmute him.
Manny, are you there?
Yes, how's it going?
Hey, Manny, you were listening to us, and we just wanted to for you to share your thoughts as your senior year. Manny's gonna go on and play college baseball. Manny is going in the fall. He signed with Eastern Kentucky. Nice. Not only is he a great kid, a great baseball player, savvy, but also has a 3.9 GPA. So he's gonna be successful in whatever he decides to do. So Manny, what were your thoughts through all this, and just share what you've gone through with it?
Well, obviously, yeah, it's been a little upsetting. It's like after that last game coming home, I just sat on my patio. I was just thinking, this is it, So it was really upsetting, but I can't be too sad because I still have the opportunity to play next year at college, And so I feel bad for some of my teammates who aren't going to be able to play anywhere else. And so that really hit me a little bit, you know.
Yeah, Manny, that is something that that was the biggest thing for me. Not the guys like you who we know that are going to go off and play. You know, you guys were robbed of the opportunity to do great things and have a special senior year. But how about your teammates? Have you had any conversation with some of those guys that will not be playing anymore, and how do they feel?
Yeah, a lot of them they're just really sad, you know. But now after about a month and a half, they just kind of accepted it, you know. So that's really sad just seeing, you know.
I mean, it got to the point we collected uniforms last week. That's probably the saddest moment in a season is when you collect uniforms. And it was supposed to be, you know, the principal told me, hey, just let them drop by and, you know, go. But they seniors wanted to hang out. They just wanted to you know, high five each other, mess with each other. And I even got to the point where one of our players, Chris Sanchez, did something to his hair. And I go, man, you're such a dumbass. And his response was, oh, coach, you don't understand how much I missed that. Can you say it again? So that's the camaraderie part of that we have with these kids, and not only the baseball aspect, but these bonds, these friendships these guys have built that, you know, after high school. I mean, really, how many guys are we close with that we went to high school? A handful, you know. And then you got 12 other seniors, and I'm sure that 2 or 3 are stayed, you know, keep in touch, but it's not the same, you know, to have that one common bond, that those one common goal, and to get in the trenches and fight for each other, pull for each other. They're not going to experience that anymore, you know, and that kind of hurts in a sense for them. We hurt for them because we can't give that back to them. And, you know, it's sad. But, Manny, what else? What else? When you talk to some of your friends, your teammates, what did they say? How did they experience? What did they experience?
Yeah, it's just been a little upsetting, you know, not being able to finish the year, you know, like not being able to have a senior game, you know, not being able to play the last home game or have a chance to winning a title, any title, you know.
You look great,
so,
Ray.
Thank you. Participate in that.
Definitely. Yeah, and then we just got in another senior here, Ray Hernandez from Keysgate, who I don't know how you pitch to this guy. We still haven't been able to get him out in 2 years, but we want to see what you went through and what are your feelings of all this, Ray? All this, you know, your senior year coming to an end, and you have a bonus because, like Manny, you're going to be in the you know, playing college baseball. So give us a little background of what you went through, your feelings, your teammates, and all that.
Honestly, on behalf of all seniors, it's a really heartbreaking experience. I mean, we've honestly worked up all the past 4 years for this season, you know, our senior game and all that. But now we have to get over and have to work for the next level college.
Definitely.
Ray was having a special season.
He's all right.
Well, I mean, you know, you gotta look at the body of work. Ray had the luxury to have. He's had varsity stats to look at since he was in 8th grade, and he was having a special season, and he was on a tear. And to me, I was happy to see a young man start, and he struggled as a 9th grader, but he continued to work and he continued to grow, and he's one of those guys. He became the poster boy of what a baseball player, you know, should be. Just coachable to the very end, hard in the gym, hard at practice, good in the classroom, and not just because he had talent, but, you know, he was working. He was already had a ride, but he's out working everybody in the building, and it was nice to see all that come to fruition. It doesn't always happen like that, but we were talking earlier, Ray, that it was, I guess the silver lining is we can take not what was lost from your senior year, but what you were able to accomplish. You know, I know we can't triple your numbers, but it is what it is. I mean, you were on a tear, and at least you got to see what that kind of work ethic can provide you personally and for your team. So, I mean, I guess you can take some solace in that. Have you spoken to any of your teammates who will not be continuing to play baseball, and how do they feel? Are they just over baseball, or?
Yeah, I've specifically Michael. I've been talking to Michael a lot. He says he misses playing ball, but he really doesn't know what to do now. So.
Yeah, that's the saddest part for me. Is the guys who, you know, you go to senior day, you get guys in the game. As you progress towards the season and you got your rankings and you got all that stuff, you start giving guys more opportunities to get in the game. I know Bill Comer, I know you guys do that. You know, once you got your stuff sewn up, and then you can start giving the big arms a rest and give some other guys a look. And some of those guys never got to even have a look. I mean, did you did you have any seniors that weren't even able to touch the field as much as they should have or could have? Gotta unmute yourself. Hold on. Let me get you. I got you, Bill. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, we, you know, for example, someone, you know, we had a pitcher, you know, he didn't even get to throw this season yet because we were a senior. You know, he's working his way back and, you know, doing side sessions, and he was going to get ready to throw during spring break. You know, it was going to be his first opportunity on the mound his senior year. So he's going to go without throwing his senior year. You know, it's also sad. It's like, you know, you think of those guys that just break through and have that great senior year, and they earn a scholarship somewhere. And that could be their only way they're going to be able to afford to go to school. So that's also heartbreaking because, again, baseball ends for everybody. It does. No matter how good you are, baseball ends for everybody. But baseball can be that vessel that gets you that education, which that education you earn, that degree, that lasts forever. And, you know, a couple of kids' avenues, you know, education-wise may be, you know, closing because of not having baseball. Again, you know, it's sad, you know, and then it's going to be interesting with, you know, the whole college baseball. They're letting, I don't want to get ahead of all the conversation, Rich, but, you know, with college baseball, letting their seniors come back, and it's scary for some of these upcoming freshmen, you know, our seniors now.
Well, it sounds like the high school senior is the only guy that gets hosed, because college, you still have more eligibility. The freshmen get to come back as freshmen. The seniors get to come back. FHSA alluded to that they were toying with the idea of them being able to be eligible next year. I don't know how many would come back, but still, they nixed that, and now they got to go.
Well, I mean, to that point, we talked to Manny about that the other day, and I go, Manny, if you were granted your senior year back in high school, what you would have done? And Manny, answer that question.
Let me unmute.
Manny?
He was on mute. Hold on, let me get him. Good.
Yeah, about that. I personally would not stay in high school because I feel like if I go to college this year, I would have a better opportunity to get some sort of playing time, you know, because we have a fifth-year senior at the school who he started, but he's likely to go into the draft or get signed. And just it's all about competition. I feel like I have the best chance of getting some playing time if I go this year rather than waiting a year and then going next year, you know.
And that's you know, that's a credit to he thought that out, even though that obviously the FSA made it easy on us. But, you know, and then you look at the draft. Now the draft is 5 rounds, you know, and limiting the money and also limiting the free agency, money on free agents. So it creates a backlog now. And some Division I's have even cut ties with some players, making room for some of these younger guys coming in. So the NCAA hasn't even talked about roster size, not even talked about scholarships, because, you know, baseball is 11.7 scholarships. But if you're keeping guys and taking guys, those numbers got to be up. So no word has been said about that. But yet you hear other colleges, you know, taking FIU got rid of track because of expenses. You know, there's other schools that are getting rid of soccer, that are getting rid of sports that don't generate money. Baseball doesn't generate money. So what? Can you mute everybody?
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen if these kids that are going to those programs suddenly there isn't a program. This has created more than just taking away the high school seniors, guys that are playing in college. It's creating a backlog. You know, they were talking about the other day on ESPN how Alabama is going to do this and do that. Alabama football represents 60% of Alabama's athletic budget.
Wow.
Their profit into the athletic is 60%. So now you're not going to have college football, this and that. So if you're not generating that money, what are the non-revenue generating sports going to do? So this has got more questions than answers with this, but I know I'm going off topic, but I just think that go ahead.
You know, that's actually Ray probably can offer some perspective on that as well. He's an FIU guy, but besides that, you know, early in the season, he worked out for a major league organization, and it wasn't a workout where you paid to go there. There was only 3 guys there, you know, and they were following him actively. There was a lot of communication, but with a draft of 5 rounds, what happens? You know, have you had any contact, Ray? Have they reached out to you? Have they told you, hey, we're not looking at you anymore, just go to school? Have they said anything at all?
Nothing really. He just reached out to ask how I was due to the situation, but nothing much.
Yep.
Yeah, and what's gonna happen if they're, you know, 50-50 on them, they're gonna come back and say, hey, would you sign for this much? And then chances are they put a price on the kid, and then the kid has a decision to make. And if he says yes, and then he gets drafted, there's a lot of questions here. And I don't know what the right answer is. I know that the seniors have got the short end of the stick here. And I know we have Anthony on here, and I want him to – he's been patiently waiting to talk about his plans. So, Anthony, first and foremost, thank you for coming on. And we were butchering your last name. Could you please pronounce your last name?
Uttariello.
Like he said, that is Anthony Uttariello. I hope I'm close enough. But Anthony owns HSBN. He's got covers from Dade County, from the Keys all the way to the Panhandle. Does a great job. His people do a great job covering high school baseball here, and we thank you personally. I know everybody here is very thankful for what you do, from the players to the parents to the coaches, because you make our lives a little bit easier. So, Anthony, go ahead, tell us what your plans are, and let us know how we can help these seniors. All
right, what's going on, fellas? It's good to see all you guys. Nice to see some baseball faces for once.
Yes,
well, first, I've enjoyed listening to everything you guys are talking about, and Ernie, to what you just said about the colleges. I mean, you even saw yesterday with the MAC conference basically saying no baseball for the next 4 years. So, you know, you have these conferences coming out, and you're already starting to see, you know, the effect, and you know, you saying, well, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know that there's going to be an answer to this. I think the answer is that baseball is just going to take a pretty big hit here for at least the next year, till all these seniors and all the scholarship stuff gets worked out. So, you know, from our standpoint at HSBN, obviously, you know, you guys not playing has affected us big time through the spring. So what we've focused on, you know, I figured, you know, we can sit around and do nothing, or we can focus on at least trying to get some kind of something together for these seniors, you know, because for us, you know, for you coaches, for me, baseball is going to come back at some point at the high school level for us, you know, but for them, you know, I was just sitting around and brainstorming with, you know, some of you guys. I think even at the beginning, I was talking to some of you, and we decided, you know, let's try to roll out this senior week. You know, I talked a little bit to the Marlins. I talked to some of the colleges around South Florida, and everybody was in agreement that something needed to be done. So what I started doing is just going to work on formulating a plan. As far as the timing of the plan, you know, we don't really have an answer to that. That's the biggest question I get every day when I talk to coaches is, well, when are you scheduling this for? Well, we can't really schedule it, but it was such a big project we put together. We figured, let's put it together and have it ready. So, if and when we can get back on the field, at least these seniors can play one more baseball game, with their teams. So this Friday, we're unveiling all those senior teams. And we basically put them together based on numbers. So we took, kids from Coral Gables and kids from Keysgate and matched them up to about 20 seniors per team, anywhere from 17 to 24 seniors per team, keeping all the seniors on their home team. So all the Keysgate guys, all the Coral Glades guys, the Westminster guys, the Somerset guys, they'll all be on their same team. So they'll be playing with their seniors and from their own teams. So Friday, we're going to release those actual rosters. And what we've been working on with the colleges is to have these games played, from Lynn to St. Thomas, even UM maybe. We've been talking to all these colleges, and it's basically just a waiting game at this point of when we could get on the field. So, the other part of that is I know a lot of these teams lost their senior days. So we're going to work senior days into these games. So you guys, just like you would if, parents with flowers or presenting the kids with stuff, we're going to do that in between innings at these games if we can get them done. So that's kind of where we're at with it right now. And Friday we'll have a lot more details coming out with an article and some of this other stuff.
How about the fans? I know we're still waiting in the air and everything's in limbo, but have you guys put any thought into how the spectators would be, arranged?
We've put that. So my thought process, through this is we have to clear that 250 person model, when we can get 250 people in the same spot. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that before August. Our plan is really kind of a mid-August cut dead date because all these seniors are going to start going off to college and everything else. So our alternate plan right now, we've been working with our production company, that we do on HSBN Live. We've been televising games the last couple of years. So the other process is if we can get to at least have the games and have the coaches and the players there, then we're working with the production company to maybe televise each of these 21 games, which is how many it would be over the course of a week. So then you have family from around the country or in other countries that can watch these kids play their last game. That's kind of the backup plan right now.
Sounds great.
I mean, I sorry to interrupt, but I heard today the governor say that sports are okay to continue in the state of Florida. I did not read anything into it. It meant amateur sports, pro sports, college sports, but he said sports are okay to be conducted. But yet we here in our three counties, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach, we're starting Monday at level 1, which our mayor, it's supposed to be 25% capacity in a restaurant, but our mayor of the county said 50%. Wow. So I don't know how that's going to have an effect, which means you could go over to Havana Harry's, Anthony. But I don't know how that's going to affect sports. I mean, in the summer I work with Prospect Wire, and one of the tournaments in Sanford in the turf field, they're debating right now what's going to happen, what stipulations they got to put in place. Do they got to wear masks? Do they got to do this? Because honestly, what generates the revenue for HSBN and for these tournaments is people coming to watch the kids play. Sure. So without people in the stands, it's not a money maker, and we understand that this has to be it has to benefit not only the seniors, but yet the company that's putting all the money to do this, really.
Correct.
So not only that, Ernie, but let me cut you off briefly there. But part of the idea with as far as us doing this project, a lot of coaches are calling me and saying, hey, we want to jack up summer ball. We want to get, are you having a league? We can't travel. And part of it from a business standpoint for HSBN is, do you want, and you hear some of the major sports talking about this, and on our level, it's what I'm going through is, do you want to be the first one out of the gate? Does HSBN want to put together a 12-team or a 15-team summer league, and then all of a sudden people start contracting this virus, and then I'm on the hook for it, So there's a lot of, as much as I my thought right now is that even if you guys can get on the field, I'm not going to do anything until the fall, because I don't want to be the fall guy, that the first guy out that says, here I am trying to do something good for these kids.
Correct.
Then
Correct.
Backfire. And now I like, well, he jumped the gun on this, and HSBN was doing this for money, and they did jump the gun. So I'm not going to have any part of it as far as this. Right. But the senior thing is a little.
It's a little different. Yeah. And what I meant, I'm sorry to cut you off. And what I meant about money is, you guys are putting that money up front to rent the facilities, to pay for umpires, to pay for baseball. That money doesn't come from, let me just make a donation. So that's why you have to charge fans. I get that. That wasn't my point. But from a PR standpoint, that's another thing, like you're saying, to put a league together, because we got to, obviously everybody's got to see what the stipulations are. And it looks like every county's going to have their own say and what the stipulations are, because our mayor just came out, like I said 50%, when everybody's been going 25%. So, I admire you for what you're doing, and I thank you. But yeah, I am with you. You don't want to be the first guy out the gate, then something happens, and everybody gets sick, and I know that's not your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is putting these kids in the spotlight and making sure that what they lost gets regained in a some small fashion.
Sure. And that was our thought process too, is that, even in the long run, if this doesn't happen, the colleges, us, the Marlins, you guys as coaches, we did everything we could to make it happen, so at least, as far as putting things together and the plays and really, some spotlight. We're considering now, doing our all county teams, because people are asking for it, even though it's a half a year. It's something people look forward to. So, and more to the point before is that even when the counties open up, where are these games going to be played? Because individual schools aren't going to let anybody on campus until they're back in school. So it's going to be an interesting couple. I don't want to make the conversation go. Peter and Bill the same, so I'm all here.
Very true. All great points.
Billy Comer, question for you. How many seniors do you guys have that are moving on that could actually participate? Are some of these guys being told that they can't participate? Or is that still just?
We have 9 seniors graduating. I mean, by all means, I can't speak on their behalf, right. But if I was to guess, man, of the 9, I would say probably 8 or 7 of them play. I think the only ones that, would probably not participate is maybe, with one potential, high draft pick. Right. And, a lot of it also is, are these kids throwing? Not every kid has the same work ethic. I know some of our seniors, they're working just as hard, and I think some of the seniors, kind of just, I'll wait until I get to college. So that's, sure. But they all have talked about it, so if of our 9, I would probably say 7, if not 8, would play.
Yeah, that's a big question as well, is like, the condition of their arms. I mean, hopefully from the communications that we've had with Anthony, the roster sizes will be a decent size, so guys won't be having to go out there and throw more than an inning or 2.
Yeah, they're going to be very controlled as far as they're going to run a lot like the All-Star games where the pitchers, and not only that, but when we can get on the field, we're probably going to give it a 7-day to 10-day period before we start where they get back and, at least get in shape enough to throw an inning, like you said. The rosters are 23, 24, some of them 22, and, most pitchers will throw an inning and be done. So, we took that into account when we put the plan together to make sure that, everybody was protected as far as the actual game itself.
Fantastic. Ernie, are you here? I heard the chime for dinner, Ernie.
No. Shoot, dinner. Remember at my age, we have dinner with the senior citizen special. I ate already at 5:30 before this.
3:30?
No, 5:30, 5:30. 3:30 is that's when I drink my Ensure, just in case.
Rich, can I add something?
Yes, sir.
I just want to ask Ray and Manny. Is Manny still on? Yeah, Manny's still on.
Yeah, he's there.
Where were they when their last senior game? Where were they? Like, for instance, I'm going to give you an example before they answer. I remember my senior year, I was at the state finals game, and I was on second base, 2 outs, and the third out was made. That's how I ended my high school career, on second base with the game on the line. And that's how I ended my high school career. I'll never forget. Boardwalk in baseball, Haines City, I'll never forget it. All right? Does Ray and Manny have a memory like that?
Hey, we gotta let Manny go first on that one, because I know Ray's, and it's gonna be hard to top that one.
Yeah, Matt, we get it. Ray hit a 360-foot bomb into the wind. We get it. Boom. All right, got it. Can't get that guy out. Not even if virtually we could get that guy out.
Well, Ernie, before Manny and Ray comment, I did figure out how to get Ray out.
What, you walked him intentionally?
No, well, I did walk him. I walked him intentionally. He knew it was coming. And then his next at bat, he hit a 420-foot bomb. But the problem is I backed up my center field fence to 430.
Nice. Hey, let me tell you what, and this is just not because he's here. I've been doing this for a long time, and he is a great hitter, great high school hitter with a tremendous swing, and he swings it from the right, swings it from the left, and he is tough to beat, man. It's going to be fun to watch him play college baseball. I think he's got a future, and like I said, man, I've seen a lot of good swings in high school, and he's probably got one of the top 5 or 6 that I've seen.
Yeah. But the reason why I asked the question is to hear what the guys have to say. And also, if they didn't get provided a great memory, at least maybe Anthony could give all these seniors one last good memory to end high school baseball with.
Yeah. Manny, you want to go first?
That last game we were playing against Southwest, it felt kind of foggy for me, because I wasn't thinking that this would be my last game, or potentially my last game. So I don't really have a big memory for my last high school baseball game, but,
When you think about it now, we heard Ernie talk before about how you guys were kind of out of whack because everything that was going on. Do you have a sense that you still played, you played, quote unquote, your heart out, that you played, that you showed up the way that you were showing up every single day up until that point, and that there's no regrets, that you left everything out on the field? Can you attest to that, or do you feel that you still left something out there?
I feel like I played good baseball, but I always felt like I always feel like I could play a little bit harder, especially knowing that could have been that was my last game. I feel like I could always put in a little extra, like I try to come out to every game as hard as I can, but this game I feel like I should have put more into it.
Ray, what about you? How was that last game?
Last game was memorable, man. I remember right before the game started, Coach Rich was talking to us, and he was explaining how, like, this might be the last game of the season. And we played hard. I poured everything out on the field. My last at bat, I remember Coach telling me, do it. It's your last game. Might be your last game, so let's do it. I remember I tried my hardest, in yards against Core Shores.
It's funny. I'd never given Ray a fist bump on a home run. I usually just do the rope-a-dope and just walk away. And that one that he hit, I was talking to Coach Fabian from Coral Shores, and he was telling me how, this is a graveyard. The field is a graveyard, and the balls don't get out of here. And then I'm standing next to him as the ball gets hit, and he's like, "Oh, that one's out of here." And so, as Ray's rounding third, I finally gave him a fist bump. I told him, "Hey, if this is it, what better way to go out, homie?" And it was special. I've talked about it a few times. Ray's heard me talk about it, but the thing that I liked about it is that as he crossed home plate, it wasn't really about just hitting a home run. He was still trying to coerce his teammates and try to get them up to have a 7th inning rally, which we scored a few in the 7th. And that, to me, was as my memory, that was special, because this is a guy who started here as a kid, and he's leaving as a man leading his teammates, even in the, the final moments, 2 outs, still down 4 or 5 runs, but there was a sense that it was a leader that was born that day, and that to me was kind of cool. And I try to give all my guys some kind of picture of how I felt their end, how special their end was, regardless of whether they were successful or not. You know.
Yeah, you see, Rich, because you were able to tell your team it was their last game, your guys got to play as if it was their last game possible.
Yes, absolutely.
My guys don't have that memory. So, you know, it was stripped. So this thing Anthony's doing, give him that closure, you know. All right, I'm playing my last high school game. Let me put it all out on the line and maybe something special happens. You know, I'm not saying they didn't play all out because my guys go all out. But, you know, it's different when you know it's your last game, you know. Yeah. Ray knew it was his last game, possibly his last at-bat. And my guys never knew it. They never knew it. So it's just a little different, I think.
It's like you have Friday the 13th as our last day that we played.
Yeah.
Okay. We got gas prices are down. We're in quarantine. We can't go any place. Okay. We celebrate Cinco de Mayo on a Taco Tuesday with a virus named after a Mexican beer. Guys, we're stuck in an Alanis Morissette song. Isn't this ironic? And I say that playing around, but yeah, man, 2020 got off to a weird start. And but yeah, Anthony, I appreciate you. I know everybody. I hope this gets off the ground so we could honor these seniors and get the I guess the bon voyage that they deserve onto college.
Anthony, anything else that that you'd like to just? We're gonna put this on some sort of media, either YouTube. It'll probably be on YouTube, and then maybe we'll stream the link, throw it out there. So, is there anything else that you would like to tell us, or need help from parents, from coaches, from players that you need? I know you're pretty good about communicating, but you know that you could give us how can we help?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just, you know, with the coaches, you know, I put you guys all on the rosters and coaching with your teams. And, you know, the biggest support we need is just to make sure that when these things happen, that you guys are there and coaching these teams. Because with 21 games, obviously, I know all of you want to be with your seniors one last time. And from our end, you know, we need you there. And, you know, the players and you know, the communication with the coaches has always been great. I can only do these things if I get the communication, and I can come up with the ideas, but I need all you guys obviously to communicate and to support what we do for us to pull it off. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I've been getting tons of emails from parents and you know, coaches and everything that are excited about the details coming out Friday. So I don't want to, you know, there's some other things in there that I don't really want to reveal right now, but Friday's going to be a good day for us in high school baseball. And whether the games ever get played or not, I think it's just going to be one day that everybody can kind of be uplifted and have some hope that, you know, maybe at some point this thing's going to come to an end and all these seniors can get back on a baseball field.
Fantastic. I mean, we're hoping it happens, whether it's in July, early August, whenever it can. Mikey, I know we haven't asked you to say any words. You were kind of a impromptu guest, but I think you can offer good perspective for these two young men that are here. You know, you did have a pretty exciting career as a high school player, but could you maybe elaborate and just give them a little bit of information as what awaits them now that they're making the transition to college baseball?
I mean, really, I wasn't prepared for this, but going into college baseball, man, it's I'm sure you know how it is. You're a senior, you know how it works. Getting there as a freshman, now you're the freshman. You go from senior to freshman. Just play your role, know your role, gain a role, I guess. It's I mean, there's not much I can say. It's kind of self-explanatory once you get there. It's not, I mean, by no means is it easy. Things change. Now you got to balance school. The schedule's a little bit different. You're going to wake up in the morning, have to go to workouts early. something that you probably can't do in high school, mandatory. Yeah, it's basically my best advice is to know your role and play it. You're a freshman now. Things change. And yeah.
I was looking for something a little bit motivational. Like, hey guys, high school was great, but what awaits you in college is going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much excitement. You're going to travel. You're going to have hecklers like you've never had before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That part's fun. That's the funnest part is the hecklers when you're on the road. I know Ray's going to FIU. Where's Manny?
Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, they used to beat up on us at Marshall.
Go Colonels.
Yeah, they used to. Richie used to beat up on us at Marshall.
Richie. That was another kid that played with us that summer too. And
yeah.
Like I said, that group had 20 kids, and all 20 of them went to college, and 18 were Division I players. So it was like crazy. But I guess the best advice, to paraphrase what Mikey was trying to say, and to quote The Rock for you wrestling fans, shut your mouth and know your role. Plain and simple. That's the best advice that you could give as a freshman. It's the same thing that you guys experience coming into a program, your freshman year, and kind of feel yourself out and work, man. All I can tell you is work your ass off. You can't get off the field if you're doing stuff right. And I didn't have many freshmen that have started for me in my career, but there's been a few. Brian Radzuski was a real good one that as a freshman was pitching a regional final against Mikey's team. Mikey, you were on that team?
That was my birthday. That was my best birthday ever, Ernie.
Yeah, shut up. But but anyways, yeah, as a freshman, he's starting a regional final. Winner goes to the state final four. I think that was 07, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, winner goes to the state finals, and we're playing a great, well-coached Gulliver team, and he goes 7 innings, no hit ball, no hit, as a freshman, in the biggest stage. And then they ended up getting a base hit in the 8th, and then I'd say it was 1-1 in the 8th. So in the 7th they tied
2-2,
or something like that. 2-2. The score, 2-1 was the final score.
3-2.
Or 3-2. We had a ground ball hit to one of our infielders and threw the ball with 2 outs. Runner on second, threw the ball into the dugout. That's how we lost that game. I could listen, I could go on and tell you every bad loss that we've had, but that one hurt the most because I hurt for that kid because that was his freshman year. Obviously, he went on to do great things, pitch at Miami. Now he's coaching college baseball and stuff. But definitely, man, just work your butts off, man. I know that it's not going to be a problem with seeing Ray play in the summer with us in Evo Shield and also with Manny, having Manny for the last 2 years. Manny was exemplary. When it came to everything, conditioning, everything. He was one of the first guys, and he always led by example. And that's a great attribute to have coming in as a freshman because you push yourself and people don't need to push you. Oh, man, this guy, it works for this guy. This guy has a great work habit. This guy's after somebody's job. And that's the best advice that I could give a freshman coming into college.
Well, I think we've gone about an hour, guys. First off, for a pilot Zoom meeting, I think it was pretty fantastic. And if anybody that's going to watch this later was questioning why I nominated Ernie Padron to be the voice of sometimes reason, I think he showed his wit, character, and quick thinking in front of a camera today. So I think
don't
your contract's been extended.
I don't know what the reason is. I mean, the funniest thing is, and I have a reputation with umpires, and I was telling Anthony the story today. We're playing Rich the game. I think Ray was there, and I go out. We got two umpires there, and I tell Rich, we're in luck today. We have 2 of the best umpires in Dade County. Their guys are not going to miss a call. They're going to be hustling. They're going to be doing everything right. We're not going to have to come out and argue a call or anything. It's the best baseball umpiring you're going to see. When those guys get here, these guys will leave, and then the other guys will finish the game. So that's how our plate meeting started, and then we went on for 12 minutes. Ray couldn't keep a straight face. I think, Manny, you were there too, right?
Manny was in that meeting.
Yeah, Manny was there. But anyways, yeah, I always there was a play there. I forgot. I know I'm going off topic. Sorry, but there was a man on first, and I thought it was an infield fly, and I go to argue a call. I don't know if you remember, Rich.
Yeah, I do.
And I go out and I go, hey, there was only man on first, and I go, Jason, isn't that infield fly? You didn't call that. He goes, well, if there was man on first and second or bases loaded, I would have called infield fly. Then I looked at him and goes, so what you do with the guy on second? Because he's not there anymore. Oh, you mean I'm wrong? Oh, okay. All right. So now we're even because you messed up 2 calls before. And I just walked away. He just started laughing. But anyways.
I think you hit that baseball. Didn't you hit that fly ball? Fly ball in the Bermuda Triangle?
No. Was it? Yeah, it was a base hit. Yeah.
That wasn't?
Yeah, it was. It was the only time. It was the only time you didn't barrel one up.
Yes. I believe that was your first AB, Bermuda Triangle. And then. No?
First or second? No, second at bat. Right, don't be.
Well, you tell it. You tell it. Hold on. You're unmuted. Hold on. You got it? Got it.
No, okay. My first at bat, I hit a double off of first at bat against the righty, I hit a double.
You're right.
Stop bragging.
It wasn't.
and then righty, I hit a ball off the fence. And
Be humble. Be humble.
Right.
Be humble.
Know your role.
He hit a ball off the fence. What was next?
He was 4 for 4. What else? You gonna go through every sequence here? Holy cow!
I guess it wasn't.
I don't remember hitting a fly ball.
Hey, Ray, you know what? You had a great day at the plate, but I got one question for you. Ready?
Yeah.
Who won? Guys, this was great, man. This is definitely great. We want to have Anthony. We'd love to have you back and just talk more baseball, man. I think you're the voice of information and voice of reason in this baseball community and throughout the whole state. And we would love to have you more often too. I mean, Rich is doing this, and I'm going. If Rich is in charge. I'm just trying to take over. But
what I brought you on board for.
But I think this is great, man, and we need to make this bigger. We do another one with coaches. It's more like clinic, teaching and stuff like that on Thursday. So this was like, oh man, I don't know, because the other one was first. I don't know, but I had committed to Rich. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I had a lot of fun here, and I think this is the way it should be, and our voices heard, and definitely a good platform. So thank you guys. Rich, thank you for inviting me, and can't wait for the next one.
Guys, you guys have anything to add before we call it, before the 9th inning stretch?
Nah, just let me know when the next one is.
Yeah, well, our original plan was Ernie and I were going to be in an actual studio, and then we were gonna stream people in. But once this thing started, we just said, you know what, we got to get it going. We want to hear all these voices, and let's just do it through Zoom. And I think it's a great platform. Billy, thank you for taking the time out. I know you were out shopping and doing all sorts of things, multitasking. Manny, thank you for your patience. Ray, thanks for coming on. Anthony, definitely, we like to make you a staple, man. I know you're a busy guy, but the more you can come on, that'd be great. And Pete as well. You guys offer great insight. And the premise of this was just to do what we always do, is just talk baseball and kind of shoot the proverbial S. So we appreciate you guys, man, and we'll see you all very soon. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you.